one of the first things we need to do is actually establish the need or a sense of need in the community for change, to recognise that change is needed, particularly in that, both in the community sense but also in a structural sense in relation to sustainability. This region in particular is on the cusp of seeing enormous expansion in energy projects. Our estimates are that somewhere around $10 billion of projects. And many of those proponents of those projects will argue a net benefit to the state in environmental terms. I think even though they argue that, there'll be a lot of opposition to them. And much of the opposition, interestingly, will come from those people that will see themselves as sustainability activists, if you like.
We need to consider not just today's generation, but generations in the future. It is about how we see our future, how we see our children's future, and how we see our children's children's future. It's not just the visible horizon, but it's also the horizons beyond. It extends from local, through regional, through national, to global, and it's all connected. That's a difficulty. How do we cope with knowing that we're connected to somebody in northern China?
The definition that I would choose to work with is that I think sustainability is all about efficiency, but that we have to combine our efficiency with intergenerational equity. Whereas really we've got to look at using our resources as efficiently as we possibly can, but over several time periods. And that's why the notion, I think, of intergenerational equity is also really important to our notion of sustainability, because it's about what we want to leave to future generations. I think we're going to have significant changes in the price signals that we face in the economy. And I don't mean, I've purposely used the word signals there, because the prices are the things that signal consumers when they make choices about their behaviour. Prices are also the things that signal to producers about what they're going to produce and how they're going to produce. So I think that we're moving to a future where we will have very different price signals to which we have to adjust.
That we don't have to adapt nature all the time to us, and we don't have to adapt to nature. We can adapt with nature. The whole process of sustainability is adapting with, not necessarily adapting to. So you can include the economic, the social or whatever. You can include it in your argument. You don't have to exclude it. And so when we move, if you like, to what we can do, the notion that, conserving natural resources is fine, but the economic argues that we need requirements to progress, and progress sustainability. Sustainability has an economic argument. What we can do is we can adaptation with. We can do things like having the processes that include all businesses, all communities, all people together, getting people together to deliberate on ideas, not to argue, but to deliberate.
So why aren't communities embracing sustainability? Is it because people distrust science? Maybe. Is it because they expect politicians to lead us to some great future? Is it because it's a confused message and difficult to understand? Is it because our society is in decline and doing anything is going to be futile anyway? My personal favourite. Probably the answer is that none of them, some of them or all of them. We don't actually know. But in our society, industry is the generator of wealth. And the government's role with that is to set policy to enable that wealth generation so that they can tax it. Then they also have a much bigger set of policies relating to social and environmental goals. The problem is that politicians have a horizon that extends to the next election. Policy with vision takes a back seat to not scaring the voters. The words of Sir Humphrey Appleby in Brave Decision Minister comes to mind, because politicians definitely do not take brave decisions, or if they do, they're not there for long. So my question to you is, where does transformational change come from? Do we need transformational change? When do we have the debate about the need for it and what it might be? We believe, driven by industry, facilitated by government and informed by the academics, Horizon 21 has got a real partnership approach to providing some vision about sustainability. Why driven by industry? Well, the thing about industry is we're direct, we embrace success and discard failure equally quickly. We're profit focused, but realise that improving sustainability in our industries is good business. Horizon 21 intends to run demonstration projects that provide solutions to some of the challenges we face. So why Warrnambool? Well, we're relatively small, but we're big enough. We're not really small. And the good thing about that is that the stuff that we do can then be measurable. It can be much more easily measured than would be the case if we were doing something in a large conurbation. We've got strong industry players, we've got a university, and we've got a capable local government.